We are rounding the home straight in KFC SuperCoach. Let's look at who was hot and who was cold in round 16. Bomber Zach Merrett was the highest scoring player of the round in the game of the round, probably the game of the year against Port Adelaide on Saturday night. Absolutely massive. Zach Merrett with 31 disposals, 6 marks, 4 tackles, and he went at 84% with only the 3 turnovers, and that's really crucial to KFC SuperCoach scoring, as we'll see in this video. And Merrett has turned the corner, as he seems to do every year. He started at 617k, he dropped to about 560 at round 9, and now he's exploded since then and averaged 133 points. So this is a trend. I'm not really sure how you explain it, but every year it seems to happen that his price drops a little bit around that round 9, 10 mark, around the buys. That's when you jump on and he comes home like an absolute steam train. And speaking of that epic game on Saturday night at the MCG, Dan Houston, I'm not sure how many points exactly he got for that goal after the siren, but I'm guessing it was a lot. But I'm not just relying on that to chuck him in the hot column this week. He already had a very good score before he even nailed that kick with a bit of an intercept mark thrown in as well, which always helps. But that's 156 points, and he scored last week 146 points. So it wasn't a total fluke at all for Dan Houston. He's having a fantastic season, averaging 105. He's the number 5 defender overall. So yeah, if you picked him, a fantastic pick because he's in only 2% of KFC SuperCoach teams. If you picked up Ben Keays about 5 weeks ago from the Crows at $350,000, that is one of the bargains of the season. He's scored over 100 every week since then, and amazingly, every week his score keeps getting higher. So 124 at the weekend, should go even bigger next week based on those stats. He didn't even have a heap of centre bounces, which has been a lucrative role for him. So we know he can score wherever he plays. He's got a break-even of just 44, so he's 506,000, got up 150 grand. Is it too late to get him? I mean, if you're looking for a player to finish off your midfield or your forward line, he's probably scoring better than just about anyone, and his price is still very attractive, and a forward mid DPP. So I'm not ruling him out as an option this week, but obviously it would have been great to go back and get him a few weeks ago. It was cold in round 16. Will Day of the Hawks coming off a 141 last week. We loved his role with James Sicily out, but it just wasn't happening for him or any of his teammates against Carlton on Sunday. No goals for the Hawks in the first half, and that makes it really hard to score KFC SuperCoach points when the game is in the balance. He finished with 26 disposals, which isn't terrible, but only the 1 tackle. He only had 5 contested possessions, and he gave away 3 free kicks, kicked 1 behind. So all those little things that the KFC SuperCoach scorers love, the contested ball, impacting the scoreboard, influencing the result, just wasn't happening for Will Day or the Hawks on Sunday. I'm throwing Kieren and Briggs in here after a fantastic few weeks. It looked like he was on track for another really good score against the Demons, but we know players can really benefit if they influence the game in a positive way when it's in the balance, going right down to the wire. We saw that with Dan Houston on Saturday night, and unfortunately it goes the other way as well. And Briggs, he looked like he was on track for another ton, and then he gave away a free kick, and then he gave away another free kick in the last dying seconds against the Demons. Fortunately for him, the Giants got over the line, but it cost him 10 or 15 KFC SuperCoach points. So finished with an 87, his worst score since he came into the team. I'm not too worried about him. I don't think that will happen every week, but Briggs, you just got to make sure you tackle correctly, especially when it's really close at the end of the game. And Harry Sheasel of the Kangaroos had an almost identical stat line to last week when he scored 103 KFC SuperCoach points. If you just look at the top level with the 31 disposals against the Crows, but the problem for him was that he gave away the ball 11 times in turnovers. So that really cost him on Saturday only the 79 points, but his price is going in the right direction again. I still think he's a handy player to have. You can keep him as your last defender, last forward, flip him between the two with that handy dual position status.